Hey bitches. Oh my god. It's fucking here. This is my own tarot deck, the companion deck to the brother to brother oracle. That's been a long time in the making. Doing the art itself wasn't even the most intense part of the job. Because a lot of this art is art that has been culminating either in my brain or in the archives of stuff that I just never really was able to do. And by able to do, I mean I was never really able to have it come to fruition within the concept of a deck. And for this deck, for some reason, all of it just clicked. And you may have seen the tag One Deck Gone Wild. I love this tag. Julie from Peekaboo Rose devised it, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Julie. And I was in her comment section and I said, ooh, this is a really interesting tag. And Julie said, you should do this with the Arcane Warrior Tarot. Little did she know that my copy was about to arrive. So I was like, I will do that. I have the questions ready. Do I have anywhere to put them? Of course not, because I'm super disorganized. But we're not going to start with that just now. We're going to start by looking at the gorgeous box with my favorite affirmation from the deck on the side. You are the spell. The back. And the other back, the other spine that says Arcane Warrior Tarot by Levi Smits. So whenever you do put it in your bookcase, you can see that it's this deck and that it's mine. It's a magnetic book box, which we were able to do because we went a little bit over the campaign. So we can open that up. And then on the inside, we have one of my favorite illustrations from the deck, the Devil. And then we take the cards out. They have this gorgeous gilding. And the backs. Like, this deck looks so vibrant, guys. Like, it's a really, really cool, welcome splash of color, I feel. Then the inside has another one of my favorite illustrations, the Knight of Swords. So we're gonna stop gushing over this box. By the way, in this deck, it's a 78 card tarot deck with a 116 page full color guidebook for warriors, Valkyries, and anyone in between, featuring tarot spreads, tarot magic, spells and rituals, and sigil magic. So this is not your average boring as hell guidebook. Like, seriously, I was reading a guidebook from another deck yesterday, and I was literally like, what the hell am I even reading? What the hell am I even looking at here? Because it was another one of those where it's literally a description of the art that's on the card. And I guess some publishers write their deck, have authors write a deck like that and then send it off to an artist to sort of do the art. But we as guidebook readers don't need to read that. So this is the little guidebook that you get. It doesn't feature illustrations that much. Like, sometimes there will be a little adornment every now and then here or there, just like that. This is what the back looks like. This is what the front looks like. There is, because I hate it when deck books don't, there is an index, table of contents. There's a little bit about the deck, a little bit about what is tarot, a little bit on how to use the deck. There are some spreads in here. There are some frequently asked questions. Then there are a couple of pages on card meanings, because I didn't want to exclude that for absolute beginners. But I always think, which beginner is gonna invest in a deck like this? However, there is a little bit on that. Just a couple keywords, and then a little minor arcana cheat sheet, and then each suit gets its own page, and then the card descriptions are done. And the majority of the guidebook actually all of this up until the second to last page. So this chunk of the guidebook is all about tarot, magic, and rituals. So that's really cool. And it's also like most rituals can also be done with other decks. For some rituals, you do really need the actual card from this deck. But you could, even with those, you could kind of tinker them in a way where they would also fit, where they would also fit any other deck. So it's a really cool little tarot workbook. Because very often we hear people talking about working with a deck. If you want to work with a deck, do all the rituals in this guidebook. So I'm going to put the box away. I'm going to put the guidebook in close reach because I might need it for this tag. All the cards are still in order because I did just get this. And when the video is over, we can get to shuffle the deck for the first time. So that's really cool. I need to make sure everything is centered. Yes. And I'm going to grab my questions. And then we're going to start filming. So why did I pick this deck? That's the first question in the tag. And there's 37 questions, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet because it's my own. And I'm really, really proud of it. And I literally just got it in. My favorite set of minors, for example, all the 3s, all the 8s, or whatever. I'm going to be choosing a suit, I think. Funnily enough, it's going to be a close call, but I'm going to pick the suit of cups because I like it the best. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, but I really like the suit. I really like all the 2s. That's not really me. So yeah. So I really, really, really like, this is going to be a big game of balance. I hope everything's still centered. I really like the suit of cups. I love the colors in it. I love the illustrations I did for it. This suit has been on my iPad for the longest time because, like I said, a lot of these designs were meant for, like, in between my last actual tarot deck and this tarot deck, there have been 20 tarot decks in the making that never got to see the light of day. And so I've had these illustrations for a long time. I just never had anywhere to put them. I love the vibrancy of it. I love the animals in it. I love the detail in it. I love how the colors pop. I really hope that's going to translate to the screen. If not, I'm going to fucking cry. I love the court so much. I love this Freddie Mercury. This is practically a one-on-one reiteration of the Knight of Cups in my Primordial Compass Tarot, which is no longer in print. And I love that. The Crown Prince of Cups with the trident and the like scale effect. I think it worked really well. And then the King of Cups I love as well. Quick honorable mention. I like all the suits, obviously, but a court card that I also really, really, really like is this Crown Prince of Swords with the peacock feathers. Love that. So yeah, that would be my favorite set of minors. What card, that's the third question, reminds you to relax when it comes up? All right. That's actually really easy for me because I have these affirmations on the cards, and this is one of my favorite cards as well, the Four of Swords. This once was a devil illustration, so that's interesting. I recognize the necessity of relaxation. That's the affirmation I devised for the Four of Swords. Or prompt rather. So yeah, this makes me feel like I need to relax. And I also love that there are these nods to the Thoth Tarot in here a lot, which is my favorite tarot system. So, yeah. Your favorite representation of the color blue. All right, that would have to be on the backs. It's this gorgeous pastel blue. The back design might actually be my favorite part of this deck, especially since it really complements the back design of the brother to brother oracle. As you can see, it's a very similar vibe, which we are living for. And I love how vibrant this is as well, how it pops. I just think it's stunning. So that's my favorite representation of the color blue. Your favorite representation, question 5, of insert card. Choose your own adventure. My favorite representation of any card in the deck would have to be, and I'm doing this, I'm going on a whim here, right? What is a card that means a lot to me in this deck? Oh, yes. That would have to be card number 10, the Wheel of Fortune, or in this case, Fate, where we see a really cool, deep indigo blue. There's lots of blues in this deck, maybe because blue is one of my favorite colors. A sort of masculine version of the triple goddess, Maiden, Mother, Crone, which I really, really, really like, and I really love this depiction, and it does like a lot for me. We're also getting Norn vibes in here. I really like that. A close contender for second prize, or as Americans like to call it, first runner-up, because who wants to be second at anything, right? Would have to be the Tower. This is another old design, reimagined, refurbished, and reloaded from the Primordial Compass Tarot. I just love this city that's under this dome. All the people inside the dome are fast asleep. It's night. There are some windows that are still lit. Other windows are dark. And what they don't know is that, you know, they're in their little bubble, but outside there's this huge thunderstorm. And, you know, their dome is about to topple over. And they just don't realize that yet. So I like that as well. What card makes you feel nostalgic? Oh, I know. It's a card that means a lot to me, the King of Discs. And this is actually the first male figure that I drew that made me go, oh, wow, I think I kind of have a knack for this deck designing thing. So it's nostalgic in that sense, where I'm like, I have an image in my mind and I can literally draw whatever I want and have it come out the way I see it in front of my mind's eye. And it's the most powerful feeling ever. So, all right. What card shifts your perspective? I'm not going to count the numbers. And I'm not going to edit this, so it's going to be a rambling mess, and you guys are going to have to deal with it. For this, I'm actually going to need the Guidebook. So this is the Nurturer, also known as the Empress in the regular tarot. And this is also the box cover, because this is very important art and very important card concept for me. And I'm going to read to you a passage from the Guidebook, from the Tarot Magic section, so you guys kind of get why it's so important to me and what I'd like it to embody. The Nurturer embodies nature in all its elements. Embodying the Nurturer can be done by simply being in nature. What people ask me very often is, what is sensual growth, and why do you associate this card with sensuality? I feel like in traditional tarot, we very often gloss over the sensual nature of the Empress, this card in that the Nurturer, this card that the Nurturer was based on, in favor of more palatable terms like mother, mother nature, growth, creativity and expansion, or pregnancy. But this card isn't linked to the planet Venus for no reason. This card is very much about the ability to embrace and love all fruits of the natural world and bear the joys and sorrows of life and death. It's a card about desire, growth, and nourishment. Nature is sensual by default. Sensuality and sexuality are two very different things. Sexuality includes physical intimacy, such as intercourse, as well as self-image, self-esteem, body image, and one's own concept of love. Sensuality means relating to the body and the senses. This is different from the intellect or spirit. It also means bodily or sensory pleasure, which is not necessarily sexual. And I really, in doing my research for this card, that really shifted my perspective. So I actually love being able to share that with you right now. So I need to put it back in the deck because everything is still in order. And I don't know, it just still feels so fresh and new. It smells new. I love it. What favorite animal that's represented? Oh man, there's like so many. And I'm gonna be boring as hell here, but it's this killer whale. I really love the way this looks. I love how vibrant it looks. I think it's fucking amazing. It's probably one of my favorite cards in the deck, honestly. And I have a lot of favorites, I know, but that's probably because it's my own deck. Which court card reminds you the most of heartbreak? Oh, that's a difficult one, Julie. Which court card I don't think I read court cards like that, honestly. But if I were to choose one, I'd probably choose this one right here. The Crown Prince of Swords, aka the Queen of Swords, who is kind of that harsh friend that will give it to you straight 100 after being dumped, and is the one to tell you, you know, we knew it all along, you knew it yourself, you need to get over yourself and move the fuck on. That's kind of that energy, which is needed sometimes. So yeah. Oh, not me dropping all my cards on the ground. No. But yeah, I find this question a little bit difficult, but I hope I answered sufficiently. Which card constantly follows you / appears from this deck? That's another court card, which is really funny. I even have it as a background on my phone because it keeps reappearing, and that's the Knight of Wands, another favorite. The Knight of Wands, I'm full of passion. I love this design so much. It constantly follows me, and I am a very passionate person, and yeah, I love this card. I love what it stands for. I'm full of passion, and I am. If you made this deck a meal, what would it be? It will probably be, because it's my deck, it's going to be my favorite meal, which is an Indonesian feast of delicacies like babi kecap and sate ayam and white rice and some fermented sweet and sour veggies. I forgot the name of. And a nice peanut sauce. So yeah, satay sauce, if you will. Or both, peanut sauce and satay sauce. What is this deck's favorite book? Probably its own guidebook. But what is this deck's favorite book? This deck is kind of Dungeons and Dragons meets Marvel Comics. So probably it would have to be a comic book, and I'm thinking probably something X-Men-y, like I used to love Generation X, and this deck does kind of have that fresh and youthful energy, so I'd probably say Generation X. If you were to travel anywhere, where would you take this deck? Literally anywhere. I could use this for eternity. If my house were to burn down, this is the only deck I would bring with me, together probably with the Brother to Brother Oracle, but yeah. I would take it with me anywhere. Where does the deck want to go? Probably somewhere really tropical, bountiful, an island. The Maldives come to mind. Bali comes to mind. Something like that. Yeah. Australia, maybe. Something you would change about the deck. Not a goddamn thing. There are actually quite a lot of cards that got redrawn. I don't have my prototype with me right now. But the Devil used to be a different design. The Knight of Pentacles used to be a different design. The Ten of Swords used to be a different design. So, you know, this deck has gone through a lot of things. A lot of editing rounds. And so I wouldn't change a damn thing. Which card would you hang in a room of the house? Let's see. I would probably most likely hang, let's see. I really, really like this art, the Crown Prince of Wands. I really, really like this, and I would probably hang this. I would love to get an art print of this without the title and without the letters, without the sentence, and have it be hang behind me, behind my favorite chair, my reading chair, in my living room. I would love that for this. I don't know if Willem wants that, but yeah. Something that sets the deck apart from other decks is that this is a completely masculine deck. And you know, I am an advocate for decks like that, in a, you know, predominantly femme-centered deck realm. I feel like this can be a breath of fresh air, and especially having archetypes like the Nurturer or the Empress becoming the Nurturer, having typically female cards like the Star being represented by a masculine figure, can be really refreshing. Just like, for example, the Daughters of the Moon Tarot is very refreshing to me sometimes, which is an all-femme deck. If this deck could have one superpower, what would it be? Man, this deck literally has all the superpowers already, because isn't it giving like superhero comic book, going on an adventure, Dungeons and Dragons vibes already? Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm heavily like influenced by Marvel Comics, Dark Horse Comics in my art. Isn't this giving like Sailor Moon transformation powers a little bit? Something like that, you know, very superhero-y, magical girl, magical boy powers. Who would you gift a copy of the deck to if you could? This is actually a really interesting question, because I am kind of looking for a way to do this, but I would love to gift a copy of this deck to Radley Valentine. He's a huge inspiration for me. The way he made tarot accessible to the masses with all his tarot decks, how he keeps reinventing his tarot decks. Yeah, I would love to gift him a copy. but I mean, he posts on social media or on Instagram, but he's not as active on it, as in, you know, I've tagged him before, but he's never really acknowledged it. Not that I'm mad about that. So I don't really think he screens his Insta. So if anybody knows of a way to reach out to him, and even then, he might not be interested in it, but I would love to gift this deck to him. Let's see. What card would be your pet? What card would be my pet? What are these questions, Julie? What are you doing to me? I can't have a bear as a pet, but he's just so cute. But then again, yeah, it has to be the bear. I would love for this bear to be my pet. It's kind of a cool tribal looking mandala style looking bear, but I want him to be my pet. What's the deck's biggest fear? Being forgotten about by others. If this deck had its own collection, what would it collect? It would probably collect other masculine tarot and oracle decks like St. Jinx Tarot, the Sabbath Tarot, Tarot of the Abyss, decks like that. Draw 3 random cards. Bed, wed, or behead. Okay, so I guess this is the time where we shuffle. So this is going to be kind of iconic because I haven't shuffled this yet. This is still brand new out of the box. This is a 350 GSM card, which is a little bit thinner than the Brother to Brother Oracle, but I didn't want this deck to be like 20 iPhones stacked on top of each other. It is a rose petal finish, and as you can see, the rose petal finish that this printer does shuffles fine. It's the best rose petal finish on the market. It's not rubbery. It's not sticky. The edges are a little bit sticky because they're, you know, brand new factory edges. As you can see, it shuffles really, really well, and I like that. Oh man, first time shuffling kind of hitting me in the feels here. Damn, you know, like, so surreal sometimes. Like when you get your decks in, you're kind of like, I don't know, it makes you feel really proud, really, it's really surreal. I can literally recommend doing this to everyone, and even if you're not like planning on running a Kickstarter, even getting a make playing cards deck in that you made yourself is such a special moment, such a fulfilling moment. I still remember when I got my first make playing cards self-created deck in, and I felt like such a badass. There's so much potent power in creation, guys. I really wish we have a lot of reviewers on here that have lots of opinions, and rightfully so, but I would love to see those same reviewers maybe create as well. You know, it doesn't have to be like perfect or polished. You know, create from the heart. Experience the amount of work that gets involved. It would be really cool. Okay, 3 cards. Oh, we get 10 of Cups. So that's really cute. We get 7 of Wands, and we get 9 of Wands. Now, obviously, we want everything to be aesthetically pleasing. Oh my god, so we need to, like, line them up correctly. Oh my gosh. All right, so, what was the question again? Shit. I'm such a doofus, like, I literally am the worst at these things. Bed, wed, behead. Well, I would probably bed the 9 of Wands because, come on now, look at him. I would probably wed the Seven of Wands. I valiantly stand my ground because I feel like that is more of an idea and concept to live by that I get more power from than I deserve perfect bliss. I find the Ten of Cups the most overrated card in the deck. I do love all the art, so I'm not going to judge on art because then I would probably wed and bed all of them. But concept-wise, I would wed the Seven of Wands and I would kill or behead the Ten of Cups. So that's fun. Yay. I like that. What's the deck signature favorite scent flavor? Ooh, that's so funny. It has to be... this is actually a lot of fun. Look at that world card, guys. It's so pretty and colorful. There's this whole magic section, right? And I talk about my favorite herbs and spices and essential oils. So that would be dried rosemary, dried thyme, dried bay leaf, star anise, peppermint oil, patchouli oil, lavender oil, clove oil. All of those scents. Very earthy, very real, very awesome. Who's the deck in love with? The deck is in love with anyone who gives love to it. How old does the deck believe it is? The deck probably believes it's really old and wise and amazing, but, you know, the deck is actually brand new. It's a baby. Who's the deck's father? Me. What's the gender of the deck? Definitely masculine. However, I do want to make it a point that this deck is for everyone. Warriors, Valkyries, and anyone in between. What the most and least favorite card and why? Damn. Well, you know, I can pretend. The most favorite is going to be really difficult. Because, you know, I drew all these myself. Let's see. I did just pass one that I find very interesting. And that I really like, so I'm gonna choose that as my most favorite. And then least favorite. I don't really have a least favorite. This is hard, y'all. Like, y'all are making me think. It's probably one from the Suit of Cups. Can I find it? Even though the Suit of Cups is my favorite suit, there is one in the Suit of Cups that I don't really... That's probably, out of all the cards in the deck, my least favorite. If I can find it. Damn. Should be easy to find, but, you know, yeah, this one. The Four of Cups. That would be my least favorite. Why? Because, I don't know, I like it, but, you know, like, I'm not going to change anything about this deck, but if, say, the deck sells out within a year, and I'm going to do a reprint, I might redo some artistic bits about this card. I love it, but there are some things about the composition that I might change. But my favorite is, right now, is the Sword of Justice. I also really like the Guidebook entry I wrote for that. Because, you know, as you guys probably know, I love angels. I love angel decks. The Sword of Justice. Archangel Michael stands before us with his imposing physique. He doesn't hold a sword, he is the sword. You are the one standing before this judge, not the one wielding the sword of justice. Which I very often feel like we as readers kind of gloss over the fact that, you know, this is the tea. Your actions have consequences, as well as the actions of others. Balancing the scales helps us restore the peace and equilibrium that is desired. And then there's a whole ritual, a cord-cutting ritual that gets explained in the guidebook, and it's fabulous. So yeah, that right now to me is my most interesting card, and you know, who knows what it will turn into. Does any card remind you of someone? Yes, but this is kind of annoying because now I just shuffled it, and now I constantly have to like go looking for cards. But there is one card in here that is modeled after my boyfriend, and that is, yeah, I already found it. That's the King of Cups. This is Willem, my boyfriend. This card was modeled after him because he's a Pisces everything, and he's so adorable, and he needed to be the King of Cups. Which card in the deck do you feel most represents you right now? That will be this card, the Ten of Wands. I respect my own limits, which I haven't been doing, so this is something that I need to focus on. Which card in this deck gives you a unique spin on your regular opinion of that card? Well, this is what's fun, right? Because of the affirmations on the cards, you kind of get a peekaboo into my reading style. So all of them, one that I really like is the Crown Prince or Queen of Discs. I am nature, I am nurture. Let's see. Ooh, I know one that I feel like that is really important, and that gets, like, in my opinion. But, you know, everyone has their own interpretations, but this was my deck, so I could have it be whatever I want. And my interpretation gets misconstrued a lot, or interpreted in a way that I'm kind of like, meh. Can I find it? That is the Seven of Swords. I kind of want to show y'all it because it's fun. Yes. Seven of Swords usually gets like read as a deceit card, as a really negative card. You're being deceived, or who are you deceiving? I don't see the card like that at all, because I read very numerologically, so I kind of attach the sevens to the Chariot, and the Chariot is all about agency, in my opinion. Agency and forward movement. So Seven of Swords, when we see that man stealing the swords, he's not stealing them. He's actually reclaiming what was his to begin with. So, yeah. Which card in the deck makes you laugh? Oh, there's so many. This was so... Yes, this one, because, I was showing the Magus, I Am the Spell, one of my oldest designs, and I was showing it to a friend of mine, and she was like, girl, the hands aren't right. In the first iteration of the art, and I was like, no, girl, they're actually right. And she was like, no, you've like not mirrored them correctly. So I had to redo it, and I literally took a picture of myself in the same posture, and because I'm horrible at hands. Hands are difficult, especially like not necessarily loose hands, but when attached to a body, they're difficult. So I literally took a picture of myself in that position, put it in Procreate as a reference, and it was a whole hot mess. So which card in this deck makes you feel calm, seen, and emotional? Oh man, This one definitely, I am the spell, is one of the most powerful affirmations there is. I reclaim my agency is very powerful for me. I am committed is very powerful to me as well. I dare to make space for grief. In the Five of Cups, we very often focus on the two full glasses and that things are going to get better and the silver lining. While I think it's very important to have peace with the fact that you are grieving. I am strong enough, very, very important one. Six of Discs, I simply ask and receive, so many of them. What's this deck's favorite tarot deck? The Sabbath Tarot, definitely. Or, no, the Guardian Angel Tarot by Radley, the Guardian Angel Messages by Radley Valentine. That's this deck's favorite deck. Or the old Guardian Angel Tarot that Radley did with Doreen. That's like super gaudy and campy with the vintagey illustrations. Those two. What's the outlier card of the deck? That's actually a really, really interesting question. I don't know if Julie really prepared this in a sense where she had all these cards ready to go. Outlier, outlier, outlier. Well, I don't really think there is an outlier. I really feel like the style of it all is very cohesive. So yeah, am I being like really conceited when I say that there's no outlier in this? I mean, I love it. I love it a lot. I don't think there's an outlier. You know which pips I also really like, by the way? The Swords suit. Those are kind of different because they're very thought-y, Visconti Sforza mixed up. Same with the Wands. And with the Wands and the Swords, I also chose to add some Latin sometimes to the cards. And, none of that's explained in the guidebook. You can do some research on your own and see what it means and see how it correlates. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really, really, really cool, cool looking deck. Look at this sexy devil. Like, damn. So let's see. What's the next question? Can we find the next question? Damn it. My stupid phone is acting up. Because now I can't see the questions anymore. What's the deck's favorite spread? That's the last question. Okay. This is actually really, really cool because I can kind of do this spread. And I'm actually gonna do this spread now with the deck. I'm going to shuffle it again because I've been looking and flipping through it like mercilessly, and I kind of feel like I want to actually give myself my first reading with my official version of this deck. Also, with this deck, there are no rules about how to shuffle it or not. I've been reading more and more guidebooks that have bullshit in it about you need to shuffle the deck like this and you need to not shuffle it like this. And also, the gilding on the cards calls in the angels. And I'm like, cool, but that's not part of this deck. You can shuffle it however you want. And it shuffles really well. It's not very clumpy. It glides, it's smooth. The only thing that's a little bit clumpy right now is the gilding. That's still a bit sticky, but it's not that bad. All right, so this deck's favorite spread is the Angelic Cross, which is kind of a variation on the Celtic Cross that I devised myself because I hate long-ass Celtic crosses. I don't know if it's going to fit on the screen completely, but We'll see what happens. All right. So the first card is me, my significator, which is interesting. Judgment. I heed my calling. Very interesting. I have been thinking about this a lot because what I'm doing right now in my life does kind of feel like my calling, but like something is off. It's very difficult to kind of balance the joy of, for example, deck creation and Kickstarters and stuff like that with working full-time. So I do feel like a shift is in order, but something is kind of blocking me, which is the second card, which is the Ten of Discs. I enjoy all the wealth in my life, which you would think, hey, how is that blocking you? Because, you know, you have it all. You're designing decks, you're doing successful Kickstarters, you have an amazing job as a librarian. Sometimes it's too much of a good thing, so maybe the wealth is kind of blocking me. Advice from the, and this is not really how the spread goes, but I want all the cards to be in view. Advice from the, oh, this is actually really cool because we can still see all the affirmations practically if we lay it down like this. Advice from the angelic realm, Three of Discs. I tenaciously work towards my goal. So, you know, the angels, advice from the angels. I'm very into angels. Or you could say advice from spirit, or advice from above, or advice from the fifth dimension. Whatever you believe in or want to call it is cool with me. Advice from the angels is, you know, just keep working towards your goal. You will get the recognition and this shift will happen. There's still some growth to be had for you. Things from the past that are playing a part in this. We're getting the, need to get the key out of the way. Decoration was cute while it lasted, and now I'm done with it. I've had it. We're getting the teacher card. I'm the keeper of knowledge, which is super interesting because I used to be a teacher. So that whole like teacher mode vibe is still kind of holding on to me. Teachers in the Netherlands have very stable jobs. It's really difficult to lose your job as a teacher. So it's kind of that longing for constant job security that maybe, for example, say I were to fully devote my time to this whole deck creator thing and I would quit my job and I would really want to make a living off it, that would like completely delete my stable income, and that would be really hard for me. So that is definitely an effect of my past that's working its way through my life right now. Advice from your gut. We get the Hermit. Solitude enlightens me, which I also find very interesting because I haven't really been alone a lot. So I used to be a teacher. I used to have all the school holidays off. In my current job at the library, I still get the school holidays off. But my boyfriend, who I like a lot, practically always works from home, is always home when I'm home. Whereas before, pre-pandemic, I was really used to having the house to myself all day, being able to do whatever the hell I wanted. And now sometimes, you know, he can't help it, but he sometimes brings his work atmosphere into my world, which kind of sucks. So yeah, I do need to spend more time by myself. And if I do that, what will the outcome be? This is fabulous. I love this. We get the world. The outcome, I'm complete. I will feel whole. So that's the Angelic Cross, and that's my favorite spread from, this is my favorite spread that belongs to this deck. So, yeah. I hope y'all like this long-ass video. I'm going to put this beauty back into the box. I really enjoyed playing with him. It was so much fun, guys. Oh, man. I mean, look at it. It's real. It's all real. And you can do this too. It's not that hard. It just takes devotion and drive. But anyone can do this. And on that note, go out, design your own decks. Don't just review, engage, make your own decks, create. Even if it's just a majors only, it's so much fun. The possibilities are endless. Thank you for watching, and